You mentioned there about Raheem Sterling and his form, which we all know. We've seen what's happened to him this season.
It happens with everyone. Now.
Yeah, of course. And he is a player that Gareth Southgate has always turned to.
Yes.
And he's always tended to be reliable for Gareth Southgate as well. And I don't want it to be necessarily a conversation about Sterling, but it's a conversation in general with a player who's not in form. Should they still be picked?
Again, you could argue, would Harry Kane going into the last 4 games, if you haven't scored, would you pick Harry Kane? Of course you would.
Yeah.
So there's certain players you'd always pick, I should imagine. But I don't think the position of places that is going on that left-hand, right-hand side, there's so much competition that I think that, I don't think you can pick him, if I'm being honest. Sterling's never let England down, and I'm sure he'd be a great substitution to bring on last 25 minutes if you need a goal or you need something to happen. But I think there's other players in front of him at the moment. And I think Man City have done it. Man City have made that big, bold statement to say he was always week in, week out, Sterling. Suddenly went through that in different period, and Pep Guardiola went, well, you need a rest. And maybe Gareth Southgate's looking like that as well, going into the...
Pep might have done him a favour, Gareth, because Gareth might have been looking at that, and now he's giving him a reason to go, well, Foden's playing ahead of him, so I can't play Raheem. And plus, there was one point for me nailed on. It had to be Kane, Rashford and Sterling. Two burners next to him. But now, as you said, both of them have been so out of form. Yeah. Foden's keeping Sterling out the team, so how can you then play Sterling? And Sancho, for me, I know we don't see a lot of him in this country, but in terms of what he's done in the Bundesliga this season, he's been brilliant. Yeah,
for me, I'll go Sancho.
I mean, there's a lot of exciting talent.
Well, it's a great problem to have if you go Southgate. Yeah, this is probably the best squad of players I've seen for a long time for England. I mean, going into a competition now, it's all about getting the right balance. That is the hard bit, getting the right players in the right positions. Everybody knows their jobs, and I'm sure the next couple of friendlies, you see sort of the formation they want to try and play. They might change it, half time and play you through at the back or whatever they're going to do. But I just hope they've all got a game plan to say, right, this is what we're going to do. Against the bigger side, you might have to maybe play another midfielder, you're holding midfielder, but it's a bigger side. But I don't understand sometimes when you're playing two and you're going to get all the possession and you're playing 2 holding midfielders. You've got to get another attacker on.
You feel it's quite negative, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple of games at Wembley, wasn't it, recently? You're playing 2 holding midfielders, as much as like Calvin Phillips, who's had a great season as well. You don't really need 2 in there. You want a more of an attacking player and, make things really, really test their back 4 because they're both doing the same job when they don't need to do the same job. So I think Gareth's got to see what games where they're very strong in midfield. Certain nations will be much more stronger in that area, the attacking area, and that's when he might have to think about, Henderson and maybe Rice or Calvin Phillips and Rice. I know Rice will be probably playing every single game if he's fit. But that's where you're getting the balance right as a manager. And that's why he's paid all the money, Natalie, and that's what, if he can do that, then he's, I can see him being very successful with his team and squad going forward.
Yeah. Really? Well, so it could be an exciting summer.
And the World Cup next World Cup.
Well, this is the other thing as well, something to think about, that the players that miss out this time, it doesn't mean it's game over because there's another major championships coming up.
You'd be so disappointed, but for me, I would always look at the positive sides of it. You're so close to being in that squad, and the quality of the squad. So I will go away, my head held high, and say, right, okay, I'm going to work harder next year. When I get back to playing again, let's put that little bit more effort in. I know Gareth's watching me now I'm in it, like people like Ben White and
you're on
Ben
the radar.
Godfrey. You're on the radar, exactly. So all I've got to do now is perform for my clubs, Everton, Brighton, whoever it is. And then, you're being noticed at the moment, which is really good for you.
It's a good place to be.
Absolutely. So as much as there's going to be players missing out, I think you've got to go away and be positive with what's happened so far. You're in a 33-man squad. Look at the quality we have in England at the moment. People like Maddison's not even in.
Well, I was going to say, there's James Maddison.
Some excellent players are not in.
Wan-Bissaka.
Absolutely.
Ings,
absolutely. So there's
Ivan
a lot of good players are not in. That's next season.
You said that 4 times. You said that 4 times already.
I just mentioned Ivan Toney again, but, he's a Premier League striker now. Oh, dear. Anyway, right, it's going to be an exciting day, really interesting day to see what happens with Gareth Southgate. Tough decisions for him to make. 7 miss out. talkSPORT will bring you all the details when that is released. Okay, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with Ray Parlour, Darren Bent and Natalie Sawyer.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday morning 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.